Thank you so much. Today I have the beautiful Savannah here, who is a Yes Supply Method graduate, and she is also combining her love of jewelry and experience as a jewelry design business owner, as well as coaching in a really unique way, creating community, helping getting new people together in spaces to grow, to connect, and to cultivate their inner world. So I'm so excited for you to be here with me today, Savannah, to share your story, to share your experience and your unique approach to coaching. So thank you for being with me today.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Amazing. For the second time. So we just tried to record an interview and it wasn't recording, but we got to overcome the tech issues and just keep going anyway, right?
Yes. Tech issues will never leave us.
So I will hand it over to you, and I would love for you to just introduce yourself and let everyone know who you are.
Yeah, I'm Savannah, the founder of Sin of Soul. So I'm a mindset and transformation coach. And something I feel like you should know about me before we really get into everything is by nature, I am a big picture thinker and I love everything that has to do with creativity. So I'm a mindset and transformation coach, and I offer resources for women or people that feel like they're meant for more, but they're not 100% sure how to get there. Maybe they feel stuck, or if they feel a lot of resistance. So anyone that isn't really seeing the external things that they want in their life come to fruition, I help you kind of work through all the internal stuff, take the aligned action, and get that. Also, something that has been really fun with coaching is not only do I offer resources, online resources, one-on-one coaching, but I also host community events, which I'm sure we'll get into a little bit more. But that's a little quick introduction.
Amazing. And I'd love to hear what brought you to coaching. Like, what made you decide, I want to share my life experience. I want to share tools with people to help them transform and change their inner world.
Yeah, that is definitely based on my personal journey. I think so. Once I graduated from college in 2019, that's where I really found myself in that era of sad girl era where I felt stuck. I wasn't seeing the results that I wanted. I knew I wanted something different for my life, but I didn't know what in the world that was. And I kept trying to force external actions with no results. So throughout that time, I started making jewelry as a creative outlet, which is something to calm me down. My mind was crazy, and jewelry making really became a mindfulness practice for me. I didn't really realize that at the time, but that's what it was. It was calming my nervous system, and it was opening my mind to be able to have new and fresh ideas. So that happened in 2019. Over the years, once I got into kind of my creative flow, I kept getting different little pings, different things leading me to go on my own self-discovery journey. So I started reading books, listening to podcasts, started doing all the things I swore I'd never do, like writing affirmations, meditating, all that stuff. And it started to work. So I started to attract all the things that I wanted in my life, and it started to become my reality, all because of the different small things that I was incorporating into my life. And then I got to a point where I'd grown my jewelry business to a place that I was really happy with and proud of, and I was really happy with my life. I moved to my dream city. I had created a really solid community, and I felt like, oh my gosh, I feel like I can teach people how to do this, but I don't really know the frameworks or the way to go about that. So I heard you on a podcast probably 3 years ago now. And it was so funny. I heard you on a podcast and I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But I don't think I was ready for it. And then a year later, I was like, oh my goodness, what was that certification? What was her name? And then as soon as I found you, I realized I was like, this is meant for me. I definitely need to join the Yes Supply. And then the rest is history. Joined and became a coach.
Amazing. So it's just, you were going through so many ups and downs in your life, overcoming ruts. And then when you got to a good place, you're like, okay, now I want to help others get to a good place too. Yeah. And something I shared earlier, the first time we recorded this was, I saw such a parallel too in my own journey. Because I remember when I was in a rut working at a job that I didn't like. And I said to my boyfriend at the time, now husband, I'm in a rut. I know I'm in a rut. I don't know how to get out of this rut. because I didn't know what to do, I just turned to creativity. So rather than just consuming content and everything like that, I was like, what can I create? And so I started painting. And even though I'm not an amazing painter, it really helped me tune into flow state and alpha brainwave state. And it helped me get so many great downloads, which I think helped create that whole vision for what Yes Supply would one day become. So there's so much to say about, if you feel like you're in a rut or feel like you're stuck, rather than trying to push more and force more, what about like playing more and being more expressive? That might actually help you tune into what it is that you want. So I love that that's what happened for you too.
Yes, it's so true. If you like allow yourself to just chill out for a second and like play around and have fun and like tap into who you truly are, then you're going to end up where you need to be. But it's easier said than done sometimes.
Exactly. Well, a lot of the time if you think about it, everything that is a success in our world, it started with an idea. Like the phone we use, the microphone we use, it started with an idea. So when you're tapped into that flow state and you're downloading incredible ideas, you're essentially downloading abundance. It's like you can take any of those ideas and translate them into a form of abundance. And me being a big lover of like manifestation and the laws of the universe, understanding that all thoughts and all ideas exist on different vibrations, on different frequencies. So when we're on a fun, playful, abundant vibration, we're going to receive ideas that are on the fun, playful, abundant frequency. So important to get into that place first, even before the abundance has shown up.
Yeah, I love that. That's such a good reminder too.
Mm-hmm. So I would love to hear, once you jumped into the Yes Supply method, what was your experience?
Yeah. So like I mentioned a little bit earlier, I definitely joined and I knew it was 100% for me. And the reason I knew that is because, again, I subconsciously had it in my mind for a year and then I decided to join. But I also sat on it for a couple months before I decided to take the leap. And once I got into the Yes Supply, I was a little bit of a skeptic. I knew that I was meant to be a part of it, but I was kind of at the place where I was like, okay, I really want to be proven that all of this is real. Like I mentioned a little bit earlier, I grew up I was heavily involved in church and heavily involved in religion. And I kind of had that limiting belief of manifestation is not real. So now I'm kind of joining this new manifestation program, figuring out like how my beliefs are going to support me. And although I truly believe that religion, belief, whatever it is, can coexist with manifestation, and I see the parallels in so many ways, at that time, I was still kind of in the middle of figuring out what I believed and how that was going to play out. So it was really, really, really cool because I came in really wanting to be shown that these work. And my life was like a testimony of that. Whenever we went through the program, you do a lot of practicing on each other. So I was a client in a lot of situations and I had different breakthroughs and different experiences. And I was pulling up different memories from childhood that I didn't even realize was there. So the Yes Supply was really awesome because I firsthand got to witness how it works. And also I was in a cohort, so I really got close to a lot of women all around the world and got to build deep relationships with them, which also made the process so much more enjoyable and transformational.
I can so relate to that. I remember I used to be the biggest skeptic of personal development in general. I would see coaches and speakers stand on stage and be like, you can have whatever you want and you can create the life that you want. And I remember thinking to myself, okay, easy for you to say, but you don't know what I've been through. You don't know about my past traumas. You don't know about my lack of belief and how I'm the biggest bully in my own mind. And that it wasn't until I started to learn about the universal laws and about growth mindset versus fixed mindset and the fact that all of this is actually proven by science and research and psychology that I actually started to believe, okay, this can work. Even though I was seeing it in my life, seeing the science around it and the research around it was like, oh, this is a real thing. Like, this isn't just a fluke. This is actually all backed by science. And it's so much better to believe in what it is that you want and know that you can have greater things and you can achieve a higher level because you're going to create what you think about. So that's a big part of why we brought the neuropsychologist onto our team as well. So we could look at all the studies and all the research that's already in the field that lines up to the work that we do. And then we also do our own research too. So we have had a few studies that we've done that back the tools and research that we're using in our certification, so that as you're going through and you're learning the techniques, you can actually say, okay, this technique works. There was a study that was done on it, and this is the success rate of the clients who use this technique. So I'm so glad that you had that type of experience too, where you're able to see firsthand how it works. And then, of course, we have all the research and studies listed in the program too.
Yeah, which that was very helpful. Like going through it and seeing how it's worked for all these years, or whatever the scientific like research was behind it. That always helps me going into something, because I'm like, this isn't some random thing that somebody thought up. Like it's proven to be real. So that was super helpful going through the Yes Supply too.
Yeah. The list of research that's included in the Yes Supply method actually helps so much with content too. I noticed for me, my content that performs really well a lot of the time is EFT tapping, which I know you said you do a lot of the EFTs, so I'm so glad. And then also whenever I share like a research piece, an interesting stat or fact, it gets so many shares, so many saves. So I think a lot of people know and want to believe more in the fact that they can create the life that they want, but they need that solid proof. So whenever I bring that research and studies into my content, it always does well. And I always have people reaching out saying like, how can I work with you? How can I learn more? Tell me about your programs. Because I think people are so hungry for this knowledge, and a lot of personal development content seems to be presented as fluff, even if it's not, it's presented as fluff. But when you as a coach can actually show up and be like, 25% of people have this result or 80% of people have that result, then people are like, okay, thank you. These are the answers I've been looking for.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. Like, I think everybody is hungry for something new, something different, the results that they want. Everybody's working towards something, but it's that figuring out what's going to actually get me there that people struggle with, which I mean, I did for so many years too.
For sure. So as you were going through the program, what were some of your favorite techniques that spoke to you?
Yes, definitely EFT. That has been really, really an awesome tool. Especially what I love about EFT is you can do it anywhere. Like you can do it on your couch. You can do it when you're driving. I don't know if that's really recommended, but you can do it. I know. I'm like,
if someone cuts me off, I'm like tapping everywhere.
So that has been really cool. I've liked that one because, again, it's just so easy to do. And also hypnosis has been really cool. I know what we were talking about a little bit earlier, just how hypnosis is presented in such like a woo-woo scary way. I even remember my freshman year of college, there being a hypnotist and like having all my friends doing the craziest things around me. So that put such a weird taste in my mouth with the word hypnosis, because that's what I associated with it. But then whenever I got into the Yes Supply, figuring out like, oh, that's not the only form of hypnosis. There are ways where it's really just getting in a super relaxed state and then talking about the things that they want or you want, or what, getting your mind comfortable with your desires on a subconscious level. So those were probably the two that I've gotten the most value from. Yeah, the hypnosis has been interesting. I wish it was a different word, but.
Yeah, I know. Hypnosis is so powerful. And then, speaking to exactly what you said, I have a belief that hypnosis is presented to the world as like a woo-woo thing, so that we kind of brush it off and don't realize how powerful it is. Like I notice in a lot of children's shows, they'll do like the swinging pendulum and the eyes with the circle and make it seem like hypnosis is this like weird thing. And I don't know, I have this conspiracy that it's shown like that so people don't realize how powerful it is and how much it can actually change your life. Because when hypnosis is used in the right way, hypnosis can be used as a painkiller or anesthesia. So I had both of my children with natural childbirth. So no painkiller, no anesthesia or whatever. I used the Hypno Babies course. So I used all natural hypnosis as my anesthesia. Hypnosis helps with like all sorts of different medical things. And you can look that up with PTSD, with anxiety, like all over the map. There's so many great studies for it. And the way that we do hypnosis, as you know, is it's not the hypnosis practitioner making something up and trying to project that onto the client. It's essentially sitting down with the client and asking the client, how would you like to feel? How would you like to act? How would you like to show up? What would you like to believe? Literally writing down exactly what the client wants for their life. Maybe they want to drink more water, go to the gym, quit smoking, lose weight. Client tells us exactly what it is that they want. And then we just say it back to them almost in the exact same way when they're in the hypnotic state so that they can begin to act that way. So it's programmed in because these programs are so powerful. And I feel like everything I'm going to say, like what we said before, because we already had this conversation twice, but like what we were talking about before, most people don't actually realize how prevalent hypnosis already is in society. So I think the hypnosis practitioner that's sitting down saying, we're going to do a hypnosis session, they're the only ones who are actually honest about hypnosis, right? Because we're being hypnotized when we watch the news. Political figures, they're all taught hypnotic language so that they can use hypnosis to persuade people to believe a certain thing or to act a certain way or to vote in a certain way. Movies hypnotize us to act in certain ways or believe certain things. Some movies even still have subliminal messaging put in them to make us act a certain way or buy certain things. And then music, I feel like music is so prevalent because you can listen to a really sad song and feel sad for days. Or people listen to music that has violence or drugs in it, and it actually has an impact on how they act. So hypnosis is everywhere. Hypnosis is when we watch a TV or a screen, that puts us into an alpha brainwave state to be hypnotized to whatever it is that we're looking at. So the beautiful thing is when somebody learns how to use hypnosis for good and how to use hypnosis to create the life that they want, now they're in control because they can receive the programs that they want to act in the way that they want. And now you can also be aware of when a political figure or a song is trying to hypnotize you in a way that doesn't align with the life that it is that you want.
Mm-hmm. No, I love that. And I think that was like one of the most telling moments for me too, is realizing that it is all around you and realizing that it's not anything scary. It's just realizing that, oh, it is going around us. And then also allowing you to start questioning what is just normal to you. And I even noticed that too. I used to feel so weird if I watched a movie and I'd like think about it for days or just feel weird afterwards. And I'm like, actually, no, that's so normal. Like there's nothing wrong with feeling weird after watching a movie or something, but it's allowed me to be more selective about what I am watching or consuming.
Exactly. I actually don't listen to mainstream music anymore, and I don't watch a lot of TV in general, but I don't watch any like scary movies. I don't watch drama, like reality. I feel like reality TV is normalizing dysfunctional relationships, and it's like, I went through my whole teenage years witnessing dysfunctional relationships. Like I've had enough of that. I'm good. Yeah. I don't need to tune in my spare time and watch it. So yeah, it's so important to just, be aware of all the media that we're taking it in because it is a form of hypnosis too. So I'd love to hear, after you went through the Yes Supply method, looking back, what were some of the big takeaways for you and how are you implementing them into your life and business now?
Yeah, some of the biggest takeaways, I don't know if it's necessarily from Yes Supply, but my experience with Yes Supply is everyone is on their own timeline. Like do not rush anything. Allow yourself the time to do the internal work first, and then the external results will come. So I really dedicated to not necessarily a daily practice, but a daily like check-in where asking myself, what do I need today? How can I show up best for myself? And that has been the most helpful thing for me because for so long, I was just trying to force external action. And for a period, what that looked like was being a super early morning person, like doing a 15-step morning routine. And I've realized, okay, that's not necessarily what's working for me. That's not fun. It's not what's getting me closest to the version of myself that I want to be. And although that's kind of like what society is preaching to me, I'm not going to do that. And I've seen results. So getting in touch with my intuition, also, doing the internal work first and then the external aligned action. That's been my biggest takeaways.
I love that. And what takeaways from the program have you implemented into your coaching business?
Yeah, so I have implemented EFT. And so kind of what that looks like is combining what I've learned from Yes Supply along with all of the different pieces that have worked for me in my life on my self-discovery, self-help, whatever you want to call it, journey. So I just launched the Dream Life Club, which is essentially a self-paced program for anyone that's feeling, again, that resistance or stuck, or maybe they are really happy with where they're at and they're just trying to reach the next level, but they're feeling a little bit blocked in getting there, or it's not happening as quickly as they want. So what that is we really do the internal work first and then align it with action. So what we do at the very beginning is we get crystal clear clarity on what you desire and who you want to be. So like I mentioned when we talked before, if you say you really want this really, really nice car, well, maybe that's what you think that you want because you've been telling yourself you want that. But in what you really want is a reliable car and you want respect from your peers. So getting down to the root of what you want is going to help you so much. So we get crystal clear on that. And then we start going into your belief system. So we start thinking about what did the people around you growing up think? What did your teachers tell you? And start writing down all of your beliefs and then starting to identify, okay, are they limiting me from becoming the person that I want to be or getting me to the result that I desire? And this can take a little bit of time. It can take a long time, whatever, everybody's different. So identifying, releasing and redefining those limiting beliefs. And then what marries everything together, you've done the internal work and now it's time to take aligned action. So the last part of the Dream Life Club is taking aligned action. So what we'll do is we'll talk about what do you enjoy? What is fun to you? What does your life already look like? All right, how can we incorporate different small, teeny, tiny actions into your day-to-day life that's going to get you closer and closer to this version of yourself? Because at the end of the day, life is supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be enjoyed. It should be creative and fun and beautiful, whatever that looks like for you. So throughout the whole journey of the Dream Life Club, that is heavily emphasized. This is personal. These are just your blueprints for you to take and run with.
I love that. That's so amazing. And I love the name Dream Life Club. I feel like that really sets the intention. When you join, you're on the journey to creating your dream life.
Yes. Yeah. It's welcome to the club. We're headed towards our dream life.
That's incredible. And so for everyone who has been watching, who's gotten to know you and thinks everything that you're doing is so amazing with your jewelry, with your events, with your coaching, if anyone wants to follow along with you, how can they find you?
Yes, you can find me at Senna Soul on Instagram. That is SENAASOUL or sennasoul.com. And also in Charleston, I host local jewelry making events as well. So you can find all of those on my Instagram as well.
Amazing. Actually, that's one thing that I forgot to ask about, which I really want to ask about. So you're doing these amazing events where you're bringing people in person, where they have the opportunity to connect and make jewelry and learn about personal development. So I'd love to hear, how are you approaching that? How are you bringing coaching into these events?
Yeah. So I think I mentioned before on this conversation that I started making jewelry whenever I felt super, super stuck in my own life. And it was a creative outlet for me. And it was a mindfulness practice for myself. So I grew my business pretty well to a good point where people locally knew, they trusted me with jewelry. I felt like I could be trusted when it came to jewelry. You knew the quality that you were getting. You kind of understood the product that you were getting. So then whenever I decided to kind of make the leap into more of a coach personality, more of coaching resources, things like that, I was kind of at this standstill of being like, well, how do I combine jewelry and coaching? Those two, how can we figure that out? But I have always believed that community is so, so, so important. And I think community and creativity is the cornerstone to success in every area of life. So when I was transitioning more into a coaching role, I decided, okay, well, since people are comfortable with jewelry, I like community. Let's do a free jewelry making class, and I can let people know, like, hi, I'm now helping people get results in their life. So I hosted one free event, and it was fun. Like 15 people came, and it was really fun in the sense like I knew everybody. So part of me was excited about it. The other part of me was a little bit discouraged because I was really excited to get in front of new faces. But then a couple weeks later, I posted a TikTok about it, and that TikTok was very successful. Lots of people saw it. And then I had lots of people messaging me on Instagram located in the Charleston, South Carolina area, because that's where I live, asking like, when's your next event? When's your next event? And just based on demand, I started hosting jewelry making events. So now what that looks like is I host many jewelry making events, and it's really a place for women to meet just other local women, have an uplifted spirit. And also I talk them a little bit through my own transformation journey, because I think a lot of women in my age group or similar interests as me feel like they're stuck and they don't really know how to get results, or maybe like mindset work feels really woo to them or out of the ordinary, and it just makes it super approachable. And at the end of the day, if you're not about that, you're still making fun new jewelry and meeting new people. So it's always a blast.
I love that. That's so cool. It seems like divine timing, how it all came together. Like you just posted it and it reached all these people. And I feel like that's such a testament to you being in your purpose and in your mission, because you put it out there and it's needed in the world. So people reached out like, do another event, do another event.
Thank you. Yeah, it definitely felt, because at that time I was like, I'll do this one jewelry making event and then I'll never do jewelry again. Like and I'm so glad that wasn't the case, because I love jewelry and I love the events so much. So it definitely was the timing of the universe.
Yeah, that's very cool. And I feel like it's also a testament to, like, in terms of manifesting, just detaching from the outcome. Seems like you were very detached from the outcome, and then you had all these people wanting to come to the next one.
Yes, exactly. It was awesome.
Amazing. And what would you say to anyone who's thinking of joining the Yes Supply method?
I definitely think allow yourself some time to sit on it. But if you're feeling a tug towards it, it's definitely for a reason. Like before I jumped into it, I truly, like, I didn't have the idea of being a coach. Also, if you don't want to be a coach, or that's not the result you want, I truly think that everyone can benefit from the Yes Supply. It's been so amazing. And like I said earlier, like, you have poured so much into so many others' lives. And I know you have radically changed my life. And it's just been really great to talk to you today. And I think everyone will get value from it.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. So we know where to find you online. We know if we want to come to one of your events where you are. So that is amazing. So I want to say thank you for dedicating your time here today to share your experience of growing your coaching business and doing these incredible events. And also personally, thank you for doing this conversation twice. Because I didn't record it properly the first time. I really appreciate it. But it's been so fun getting to know you, and I'm excited to continue to watch you on your journey. And we will post where to find you for everyone else who wants to follow along on the journey with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been great.